Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the combined agenda and regular meeting of the Monroe Township Council, December 27th, 2021. This meeting is called to order. Would you all please rise to salute and honor our flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Leonard Baskin,
Here.
Councilman Charles DePiero,
Here.
Councilman Terrence Van Zura,
Here.
Council Vice President Elizabeth Schneider,
Here.
Council President Miriam Cohen.
Present. Would you please read the sunshine law into the record?
In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, it is hereby announced and shall be entered into the minutes of this meeting that adequate notice has been provided by the following. One, posted on the bulletin boards within the municipal building on December 29th, 2020, and remains posted at that location for public inspection. Two, printed in the Home News Tribune and noticed to the Cranberry Press on January 1, 2021. Three, posted on the Monroe Township website, and four, sent to those individuals who have requested personal notice. In accordance with Chapter 3, Section 17 of the Monroe Township Code, public comment shall be limited to 5 minutes unless further time is granted by the council president.
Item 5, please, our ordinances for second reading.
Ordinance O-12-2021-023, ordinance authorizing the township to acquire by donation real property known and designated as tax block 22.17, lot 6 on the official tax map of the township of Monroe, Middlesex County, New Jersey, for open space and other governmental purposes. O-12-2021-024, ordinance to acquire by negotiated agreement real property known and designated as tax block 78, lot 1 on the official tax map of the township of Monroe, Middlesex County, New Jersey, located at 204 Docks Corner Road for open space and other governmental purposes.
Thank you, Patty. Item 6 are the resolutions for consideration under the consent agenda at the December 27th regular meeting are 12-2021-263 through R12-2021-290. I would request that all members of the council please review these resolutions, noticing to us any that you wish removed from the consent agenda.
Council President, I have a few.
Yes, sir, I'm so shocked. Yes.
Okay, 277,
Okay,
273,
yes,
286, and 287.
thank you very much, Mr.
You're welcome.
DePiero.
Sorry
Any-
it took me so long, but thank you.
Yes. Anyone else have any resolutions that they need removed from the consent agenda? Hearing none, we will move to the public comment section. A reminder, it is limited to agenda items only with 5 minutes per speaker. May I have a motion to open the public comment section?
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Schneider. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Piero. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Hearing none, do we have anyone who has approached us to speak?
Council President, we do have a hand up from Lucille Panos.
Very good, thank you.
Doug, are you moving them over? Okay.
There she is. Lucille, would you unmute,
Okay,
please?
am I unmuted now?
Yes, you are unmuted. Your name and address for our records, please.
Lucio Panos, 1208C Lindera Plaza, Monroe, New Jersey.
Yes.
I'd like to say, I hope everybody enjoyed their holiday and best wishes for the new year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well,
Appreciate it, and best wishes to you.
And I love your red glasses, as I have almost the same pair.
Oh, then this is a good thing I have them.
If you could see me, we'd be twins
We'd
almost.
be twins. Okay.
Okay, so,
And do you have the red scarf with it, Lucille?
no, okay, well, anyway, here we go. Ordinance
Yes.
for second reading. 023, who donated the property? 024, what is a negotiated agreement? Who owned it? What is the size of the property? Is there a cost for the acquisition? Resolution 265, who is the third party that gets the $86,200 refund? 269, what does the shared services include? Is there an certified animal control officer in each town? And if so, the salary or stipend of each officer, and is it equal? And will we have 24-hour service? Resolution 272, please explain that. Resolution 275 is you know what? I have to leave that one off because the paper cut me off. Can't read my question. 287, what is the cost for such licenses? And was the cost increased from last year? 289, since the township has its own Monroe news publication, can it be added can the official notices be added into that? And I believe that's it. Although, you know what, even though I cut it off, I will ask, there's a salary guidelines for a non-union office in the township. Is that an increase from last year? And how much percentage? And do other non-union employees get an equivalent percentage in their raises?
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Mr. Weinberg? You were taking copious notes, I saw.
Yes,
Please.
yes. So I'm going to try and go as quick as I can.
Sure, please
020
do.
Well, it's on your
023
time now.
Yep, okay. 023 is a small, tiny lot, 0.06 acres. It pays $12 in taxes. It's sort of a paper lot somewhere in the large forest between Federal Road and James Monroe Park, and it is adjacent to open space. So it's quite a small parcel. I don't have the name offhand, but it would be listed on the ordinance, which maybe if Patty has the ordinance in front of her. 024 is a property at 204 Docks Corner Road. The township is moving forward to purchase it for $446,000. We had a appraisal done for that. This was a property that was significantly damaged as part of, in a very serious way, it became unstable and was basically somewhat destroyed as part of the tropical storm Henri, similar to what we did in 2011. We did a similar program. This individual reached out to us, and this is what we did, sort of similar to 2011 in that same instance. Moving on to
Who owned it? Who owned that? That was part of my question for that.
I think it is owned by and it's owned by a homeowner. It's probably the block and lot would be online. I believe the name is Yofredo. I don't know everyone's first name.
Thank you.
So you could look up the block and lot online. 265 third-party tax lien payments. I'll have to just pull that up in front of me. I don't have it printed out. 269 and 270 is the same agreement we had with Old Bridge in the past. We each have our own animal control officers. In the event that our animal control officers are not available, we could share between each other. And of course, we do use the shelter in the same terms as we had done previously. We do have animal control 24 hours a day. We have people who are on call, and I can't speak for what Old Bridge does, but I believe it's the same.
And there is no fee, Alan, correct?
Okay.
Well, there's
No
no
fee.
fee there's no fee when we share each other's people in the unusual circumstance that our two people are out or their one or two people are out. It doesn't happen a lot, as I understand. But when we use their shelter, the agreement is that, we do pay for use of their shelter, which is the item below 270 unit
And we
pricing.
each have, Monroe has a
I thought
certified animal
is this-
control officer, correct?
I'm just answering the questions, Council President.
Yes,
Have-
please, let her get through the questions, please. Go ahead.
Okay, the next one is subordination of affordable housing lien on 37 Morgan Way. That is, we have several houses that are deemed affordable housing. We have a lien on them for, I believe, 40 or 50 years. In order for somebody to refinance their mortgage on that, they need our permission, and that's what that is. And we've seen a lot of them as interest rates are low at this point. The dog kennel license, I'll defer that one to Patty if I could. Did it go up, and what's the price of the dog kennel license, I guess?
It's an annual fee that the dog kennel license, or excuse me, which one are we on?
287.
287.
I know it didn't go up. I just don't remember what the actual fee is.
Yeah, these are annual license. I believe it's $100 for a year for the kennels. And we have 3 separate kennels in town. That's resolution 287,
Correct.
287.
And then on the last question, Council President, 289, designating official township, I'll defer to the township attorney. I think there's certain criteria for being a designated newspaper in terms of how often you come out.
Well, I
How
think
often
that
you're published.
well, once again, the Monroe Township News is something that's done periodically, so it's a newsletter from the township. We wouldn't publish notices of meetings in it because it's not timely. And certainly it's not a newspaper that meets the definition of a New Jersey newspaper for notices to be put in.
Okay.
And Alan, I just wanted to the question regarding 265. There's two third parties who are purchasing liens. One is ATCF number 2 New Jersey LLC, and the second one is U.S. Bank Custodia for a Pro Cap 8.
Thank you. Thank you,
Well,
Mr. Reno.
That-
Thank you, Mr. Weinberg.
No, that wasn't on there's one more question that wasn't answered.
That was everyone.
Which one?
No, I
Shared
asked about the
services.
salary increase.
Oh.
For the clerk's office, actually. It's a non-union. I want to know if that was a salary increase, what was the percentage? And are there other non-union employees in the township that will get a comparable percentage increase?
I can try and answer that if you'd like,
Please.
Council President.
Yes, I would.
So currently, the non-union employees, as we go forward into the new year with our temporary budget, the non-union employees will be 2.5%, which is similar to what the majority of our contracts are. Our contracts have certain different things in it. Our clerk office salaries are about the same, by and large, 2.5%. We did have to make a minor adjustment in elections because we have to do a lot of different things in terms of how elections are operated now and rewarding. So there's a little bit more of a focus on that, but overall, general clerks contracts would be 2.5% as well.
Is that what you're voting on? Is that 2.5% or the percentage that you're saying is, by the way, is deserved?
No, they have
Wait a minute.
specific salaries. That's how they're set in the
Yes.
resolution.
Okay, the other one was, does each town have a certified animal control officer? Does Monroe have a certified animal control officer?
Alan, Mr. Weinberg, please.
Yes, based on the 2019 law, we have there's a phrase for it. There's an animal control officer who's certified, yes, and we have one in the town, and the council appointed that individual.
Yes, we did.
Are they getting the same pay as
Uh,
all bridges?
I think that
Ms. Panos, I am not aware of we don't compare our salaries to Old Bridges. And I think we've far exceeded the time limit for your questions in this section. So I
Well,
would
don't
like it
think
if we can move
that
on.
wasn't- I didn't take up 5 minutes asking them, and I would hope that our employees get the same salary as another township that we're in negotiation with if they have the same title
Then I
and they're
think
sharing services.
Your comments regarding that are certainly appreciated. We believe we pay our employees equitably in this town and work to endeavor to continue to do that. Do we have any other residents anyone who wishes to come speak to us now? Doug, you have anyone else?
Council
on the line?
President, Council President, I do not have any other hands up at this time.
Seeing no other residents wishing to comment, I'd like a motion to close the public comment section, please.
Moved.
May I have a second on that?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Public section of the meeting of the agenda session is closed. May I have a motion to adjourn, please?
Make a motion.
Thank you. May I have a second on that motion?
Second.
All in
Nope, it's a roll call.
roll call on that. Thank you.
That's quite all right. Councilman Baskin,
Yes.
Councilman DePiero,
Yes.
Councilman Van Zura,
Yes.
Council Vice President Schneider,
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes, this meeting is adjourned. My paper, do forgive me. Ladies and gentlemen, the regular meeting of the Monroe Township Council for December 27, 2021 is called to order. Clerk records the time. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Benzor. May I have a second on that motion?
Second.
Thanking both Council Vice President and Councilman Baskin.
Oh,
May we have a roll call, please?
Councilman Baskin,
Yes.
Councilman DePiero,
Yes.
Councilman Van Zura,
Yes.
Council Vice President Schneider,
yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes. The second item on our agenda is a presentation that I am delighted to make to Dr. Leonard Baskin for his years of service as a Ward 2 councilman. I am going to take this opportunity. I understand, Doug, you have a picture of the plaque that will be delivered to his house. Look at that nice plaque.
Very nice.
And it reads, "In appreciation of your years of dedicated service to the residents of Monroe Township, congratulations are extended from Mayor Stephen DeLina and the Monroe Township Council on behalf of a grateful community." And it is dated today. Is there anyone on the council that would like to speak some kind words to Dr. Baskin? Mrs. Schneider, yes, please.
In the period that I've served with Councilman Baskin, I think it's been my pleasure and honor. He has truly been an asset to the council. He has different views, different opinions, but I know he's here for the residents and the people. So I wish you nothing but the best. I thank you for your service.
Thank you.
And I've really enjoyed working with you, Len. It's been a pleasure.
Anyone else? Is Mrs. Schneider? Councilman Van Zura, yes, please.
Thank you, Madam President. I would also like to extend my thanks to Councilman Len Baskin for the time and effort that he's put forth on the council, 4+ years. And he did it for the betterment of the township. I think his contributions are greatly appreciated. He's shown himself to be a man of intelligence and also great integrity. And I believe he served the second ward very well. So I do want to wish him nothing but the best in the future. I found Len to always be a pleasant, open-minded man and does what he feels is best for the town. And I appreciate the efforts that he's put forth in his time. So thank you, Len, and nothing but the best.
Well, Len has been my councilman for these 4 years because I live in Ward 2. So I thank him for that. The first time I met Len was when he was working polls in Ward 2. And then, of course, we met when he became a member of the council. And we have worked together for these 4 years and not always agreeing, but always agreeing that the interests of Monroe Township are what came first. And I always enjoyed discussions with him, as he reminded me once, you know, I am a chemist. And as I would remind him that he had graduated from some of our country's finest universities. And he brought that intelligence and integrity to our council. So I wish him well. And whatever he's choosing to do now will be graced by his presence. Is there anyone else who wishes
Yes.
to comment? Councilman DePiero, yes, please.
Yes, I'd like to thank Councilman Baskin for his dedication, his loyalty to our mayor and council here. And I'm going to miss his comments, though. I like when he reads the personal comments. I'm going to miss that. Because you never know, what he tells us about is in between the garden, community garden, his
Yes.
efforts I want to thank him for everything that he's done. And I'm sure he's still a teenager in Monroe, so he's ready to go. And whatever your next journey is, Councilman Baskin, I wish you well and nothing but the best.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Baskin, would you like to say something? And no,
Yes, I have a couple
Sure.
of remarks.
I knew that. I knew
Well,
that.
first, I wish everyone a safe and happy holiday season. And I appreciate being elected by the Ward 2 voters. And I've been honored to serve for the last 4 years for the entire township, not just Ward 2, actually. And I want to thank my fellow council members. I enjoyed governing with you, and I'm sure the township is in good hands. And I'd like to thank the mayor and the administration, in particular Alan. Alan has been super helpful to me, and I'm looking forward to the new master plan.
Thank you very much. And I know the Garden Club is looking forward to you. I understand they have plans that involve you. May I have a motion to approve the payment of claims for the run date of December 21st? Motion, please pay attention.
So moved.
Thank you. May I have a second on that motion?
Second,
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilman Baskin,
Yes.
Councilman DePiero,
yes.
Councilman Van Zura,
Yes.
Council Vice President Schneider,
Yes,
Council President Cohen.
Yes. Approval of minutes. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of the following meetings as written and presented? November 3rd, 2021, December 6th, 2021. The agenda and regular combined meeting stands for both dates. Motion, please.
Make a motion.
Good. Second, please.
second,
Roll call, please.
Councilman Baskin,
Yes.
Councilman DePiero,
Yes.
Councilman Van Zura,
Yes.
Council Vice President Schneider,
yes,
Council President Cohen.
Yes. Motion carries. The ordinances for second reading, Mr. Reno, they were read in agenda session. Do they need to be read or can we proceed? Read them again. Can't hear. Oh, he's muted.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yes, you can proceed.
Thank you very much. So we will proceed for ordinance number 012-2021-023. May I have a motion to open the public hearing?
so moved.
Thank you. Oh, good. Now everyone's here. Goody. May I have a second on that motion, please?
Second.
Thank you. Do we have members of the public wishing to speak on that motion? Oh,
all in
Patty.
favor, all in favor.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
Aye, any opposed? I'm sorry.
okay.
Apologize.
It's okay.
Move them over to you.
Okay, I do have a hand
Sure.
up, Council President. It's Michelle Arminio.
Yes. Good evening, Michelle.
Good evening and happy holidays to all. Michelle Arminio, 9 Nathaniel Street.
Yes,
Regarding
Michelle.
this, ordinance, again, I had mentioned at the last meeting, at the first reading of this ordinance, that the language in the last sentence that says, "and other governmental purposes," I had asked that that be removed and not used just arbitrarily in these ordinances. I asked Mr. Ranone, and he said he asked a similar question. However, there was no real answer forthcoming from either the council, the mayor, or our attorney as to why that governmental purposes needs to remain in, especially in some cases when we have a landlocked property or a property that is clearly should be kept as open space for open space purposes. We give lip service to our concern and preservation for open space, and yet we leave this kind of language in that leaves lots like this vulnerable to using it for governmental purposes, which means they could actually be built on. We are, so I would like to object to that language, those three words, other government purposes being in this ordinance.
Anyone wish to, Mr. Reno?
I don't think I really have any comment at this point in
Thank
time.
you.
It's,
Mr. Van
once again,
Zora?
this is a parcel of land that is so tiny that I don't think it makes a difference here, but it certainly is a policy that we will review going into the
Yes,
future.
we will. Thank you. Mr. Van Zuren.
I don't see any problems with having the language other government purposes. This particular lot of land is landlocked. In all probability, it would not be used for anything ever again, aside from open space. But should some emergency occur, or if our township council in the future sees a need for the use of this particular property, let it have that opportunity. Just because it might have that opportunity doesn't mean that it will be used for that.
Well,
Go
my
ahead, Mr.
understanding, Councilman, is that generally we put that in there because if you're going to, you have an open space parcel, but you need to traverse it to
Well, that's my point.
put a
What
water
if we
line.
needed an easement for
You have,
something?
you're correct. And that's generally why it's done. But certainly it's something that we will pay attention to and review in the process.
Yes, I
And
would
It
it-
agree.
certainly is
could-
not the intent to
One of
hold
you at
this
a
property
time,
open
gentlemen,
for
please.
development.
2 lawyers, that's it. Okay.
I was just gonna say, perhaps we could be more specific for what
Right.
other potential government purposes it
Yes.
is, that which would still continue to limit the use, but I don't have any problem with this as written.
Thank you very much. Any other council?
I think I still have some time. I would ask that somebody make a motion to remove that language, that there be one of our council people make a motion to remove that language in. If it doesn't matter, then why leave it in? I mean, I get why the reasoning for it, but I don't think the reasoning is sufficient to leave that kind of language in. And once again, we should be protecting open space for purely open space. You have the option to do through Green Acres and other, if you had to divert land from an open space parcel, it would be much better to actually go through the process rather than leave this land vulnerable just up front. This, taking this language out and having to go through a more stringent process, once again, protects the open space. So I would ask one of our council people to make a motion to remove that language.
I will ask, but I do not sense that the council, there is a council person who wishes to make that motion.
Well, Council President, it's still open to the public, and I don't know if we would even.
Yeah, right. Now's not a time. You're right, Councilman DePiero. Now's
Thank
not a
you.
time for the motion. So
It's
we
still
should
open to the public.
Yeah,
Correct.
let's
Okay,
conclude the
good.
public hearing, please.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Anyone else wish to speak to us?
Council President, I do have a hand up from Brianna Eso.
Okay. Yes,
Good evening, council. It's actually Tim Esso. Tim Esso, 2 Allison Court, Monroe. I would have to agree with Ms. Arminio on this. If we have designated areas for open space, I do believe the language should be taken out as well. This way it doesn't leave any question to what the open space is really designated for.
thank you for your comments, Mr. Esso. Do we have anyone else wishing to comment at this time?
Council President, there are no other hands up at this time.
Seeing no other hands up at this time, may I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Mr. DePiero. May I have a second on that?
Second,
May I have a motion to adopt?
Okay,
All in favor?
Oh.
All in favor of closing the public hearing?
aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Nay.
I had,
Very
I had,
good.
I had a question for our attorney.
Yeah.
If, what the public just asked us to do, I guess, would take out that language. My concern about this parcel is there's a lot of wetlands, there's a lot of floodplain, and whenever the township takes a property, we have to worry about phase 1 as far as environmental, floodplain, and also wetlands. So none of this was done on this parcel, I believe, right?
I don't believe so. I mean, it's a minuscule piece of property that's surrounded by our property. So I don't think that was done. A phase 1, well, Councilman, I know you know this, so I'm just saying this for the public's edification. Doesn't necessarily do floodplain and wetlands delineations. All a phase 1 does is for us to check with DEP to see whether or not there's any open investigations or permits or violations on the property. I don't think that we have done any of those studies. That having been said, I don't think we did any of those on this property because of where it was and because of our familiarity with the property around it. Alan, or maybe Joe Stroin might know better than I do.
Either Mr. Weinberg or Mr. Stroin wish to comment on this?
Yeah, I'd be happy to comment.
Please do.
I would agree with council. This is a huge forest in the middle of, we own every side of the property. It's 0.06 acres and $12 in taxes. It wouldn't seem prudent if we could, in the middle of this forest to spend oodles of money to try and, learn much more about it, just being candid.
Okay, Alan, with that said, do we have any, on the parcels that the township owns, do we have any of the wetlands, delineations? Do we have any phase ones done on the property that, joins this property?
That would, Council President, if I can
Yes, no,
answer.
please, yes, please do. But
These are historic paper streets that go back before my time, so I don't know. This is the large forest between Federal Road and James Monroe. It's, I would guess hundreds of acres. I don't, there's state wetlands maps, but I don't know of any individual maps that would have been, before my time.
my question is that
Okay, so moving forward on what the residents are asking us to do. I like to make that motion now and then also for the future. It does make sense. So at this time, I'll put the motion on the floor.
it is Mr. Raynone, correct me, please.
Are we done with it? Have we closed the public hearing?
Yes,
We
we did.
closed the public
But
hearing on
now a
this.
motion would be,
And,
Yeah, that's what I
but
did.
but do we need to reread the motion to adopt this ordinance? And then Mr. DePiero mentions the amendment he would like proposed. for
I don't
this?
think it matters which comes
Okay.
first. Certainly, Councilman DePiero is making a motion to amend the ordinance.
Ordinance, okay. You're making that motion. Is there a
Yes.
second? Is there a second for that motion? There is no second. If there is no second, then that motion fails.
Okay,
So we will proceed to the adoption of the motion. And as it is so stated in the ordinance, may I have a second, please?
Council President, I need a motion first.
Motion? Who's making that motion? I'm sorry.
So move.
Move. Thank you, Dr. Baskin. May I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you very much. May I have a roll call vote?
Councilman Baskin,
Yes.
Councilman DePiero,
no,
Councilman Van Zora,
Madam President, given this is less than 1/10 of an acre, approximately 1/20th of an acre, I vote yes.
Thank you, Mr. Van Zora.
Council Vice President Schneider,
Yes,
Council President Cohen.
Yes, the motion is adopted by roll call vote. I would like to restate for our record that it has been indicated by more than one of our council people and that we will look into certainly explore removing that language for future ordinances of different sizes of property, obviously, rather than this really small piece where there didn't seem to be a concern that the majority felt, so that we do this. Dr. Baskin, yes.
Yes, I have a question for Alan, Council President. How would that affect the 400 acres, removing a phrase such as that? How would that affect the parcel of 400 acres on Prineville Road?
Doesn't affect it at all.
Yeah,
That was a
I don't-
easy one.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that would affect it.
Madam President, point of order. Can we stick to the agenda,
Yes,
please?
we are
Sure.
now. We're moving right on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And this is the O-12-2021-024. May I have a motion to open a public hearing on that ordinance?
so moved.
May I have a second?
second,
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Any opposed? Fine. May we have anyone wishing to speak to that ordinance?
Council President, I do not have any hands up at this time.
Thank you. May I have, oh, you do?
Yeah, I do. It just
Okay.
popped up. Michelle Arminio.
Yes, please, Michelle. Unmute. Thank you.
Michelle Arminio, 9 Nathaniel Street. I rise again to object to the language in this ordinance as well that says other governmental purposes. Saving open space and saving our environment, which is more critical than any of the times that since I have been in this town since 1980. Again, I would hope that you would have voted on principle to remove this language and protect our open space. However, I see that that is not the intent of the majority of the council. Last month at first reading, I asked for this to be considered. I was told then it would have been considered. Clearly, it was not considered for this second reading. So just to kick this can down the road and said you will take these things into consideration, once again, shows the lack of intent for really, the concerns of the public. And just because two members of the public rose to object to this doesn't mean it isn't a good objection. So again, we give lip service to preserving our open space and the beauty of our community, and yet you vote in the opposite and contrary to that. I object to this language, and I would ask you to consider taking this language out. Again, open space for open space is a reasonable enough request from the public to protect our community. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Appreciate it. Anyone else have something? Do you have anyone else waiting to speak with us?
Council President, yes, I have Brianna Eso, but I want to bet it's Tim Eso.
Very good.
Yes, it is. Tim Esso.
Mr.
Tim Esso.
Esso, your
I'm
name
sorry, I pronounced it wrong, Eso.
That's okay. Tim Esso, 2 Allison Court. Once again, I have to be in agreement with our resident, Ms. Arminio, on the fact that this language should be taken out of that ordinance for the sole reason that we have designated open space to protect the property of Monroe. Once again, with the one other piece of property we're talking about, all we're really doing is completing a puzzle. If you own the land all around it and the same language is in that ordinance as we're trying to take out, you're just completing a puzzle to build something there. I vehemently deny against that language in that ordinance as well. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Esso. You have anyone else waiting?
Council President, could I?
We're in the
comment
public
to
portion
hearing?
of the meeting. Please, let us do the public at this point. Council has plenty of time.
Council President, I have Lucille Panos with her hands up.
Yes, please,
Hand up.
Ms. Panos, unmute.
Thank you. Lucille Panos, 1208 Cedar Lindera Plaza, Monroe, New Jersey. I'm listening back and forth, and if it isn't such a big portion of land and it doesn't make a difference, well, then take the language out. That would show a good faith effort on the council part. And if need be down the road, you need it for government purposes, then bring it back before the council. Show the good faith. You didn't follow through on Ms. Arminio's request last month. She requested again. If it's not that big of a piece of property, why is it a big deal to take out that portion? Why are you guys not doing so?
Thank you for your comments. Is anyone else waiting to come before the council?
Council President, I have Gary Busman with his hand up.
Yes, please. Mr. Busman has not appeared on screen yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
There he is.
You hear me?
I hear you. Your name and address for our records.
Okay,
please,
Gary
Mr.
Busman, 7 Monarch Road, Monroe, New Jersey. I'm in agreement with the vote made by the council. Just as the previous 3 residents spoke against this and wanting it removed because they don't think it's a big deal. Well, I'll use the same word. I don't think it's a big deal to leave it in, as long as the council members and Madam President, you pursue this along with Mr. Wernberg. You pursue this, hash it out between all of the members so that when you come to the next public meeting, you can at least make a determination as to how you're going to proceed on this matter. And I believe by actually showing that in good faith that you do address it at the next meeting should pacify the 3 objectives that we just heard. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Busman. Anyone else wishing to speak with us?
Council President, I have Michelle Arminio's hand is up, but she has already spoke of this on this ordinance.
Yes,
I
she has.
don't know if it's up for future comments, probably. Oh, her hand's down.
Okay.
I have no further hands up at this time.
May I have a motion to close the public hearing, please?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? No. Public hearing is closed. I'd like a motion to adopt the ordinance 012-2021-024. Motion, please.
So move.
Thank you, Dr. Baskin. May I have a second on that motion?
The second, Madam President, if I could be heard when there's a chance.
Very good. May I get a roll call and then you can be heard?
Thank you.
That will work. Very good. Thank you.
Councilman Baskin,
Yes.
Councilman DePiero,
Abstain.
Councilman Van Zora,
Yes,
Council Vice President Schneider,
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes, Mr. Van Zura.
Madam President, I really, get taken back by the comments of Ms. Arminio, Mr. Esso, and Ms. Panos. First of all, Ms. Arminio says that we give lip service. No, we don't. I consider these things very seriously. The particular ordinance with the 023 was 0.06 acres of land. That's less than 1/10 of an acre of land, totally surrounded by everything. There's no reason that I think that we had to go out of our way to change the language on that. Having said that, the current one, 024, is a little bit different. That's a property that we had acquired because there was flooding. There might be greater probability that there would be other uses for it than the first one. And I might be more inclined to consider some further language on that particular tract. But on the first one, it's not lip service. I'm not ignoring the concerns of the public, and I'm not showing bad faith when I make my decisions. I resent that language, and I'm going to tell you my reasons why. And that is it, because in that particular one, it didn't make any sense. And just like Mr. Busman said, instead of showing good faith by leaving it in, no, I considered it. I considered both sides of it. And this was the decision I made based on what was presented before me. So I thank you for that time.
You are most welcome, Councilman Van Zura. Would the clerk please move to items?
Well, I don't think
6.
we voted on this now.
No, you did.
Did not.
Oh,
No,
sorry. Oh,
We didn't
goodness.
vote yet.
I must have
Oh,
needed
we
that.
I don't know if there's going to be any motions on it either.
Council President, yes, we did.
We
It
voted
was,
on it.
we
Yes, we
voted on it.
voted on it.
Yes, Council, it was 4 to 1 abstention.
One abstention.
Right. It was voted on.
I thought that was to close the open portion.
No, we did that. No,
Plus
that's
you
No,
by
that
You
was
vote.
a-
want to vote again? You guys want to vote?
Fair enough.
I think we all needed perhaps another couple.
That was a voice vote to
It
close
was
the
a voice
public.
vote. It was a voice vote to close the public
Right.
session,
Yeah.
and then we took a roll call vote to adopt
All
the
right.
motion.
So
Correct.
just to clarify, so the record's clear, that would have been my vote anyhow, was to vote yes.
Thank
I
you
would
so
have
much.
also, had Mr. DePiero or any other councilman made a motion on this particular ordinance, I would have been glad to consider it, though. A little
Thank you.
different than the prior one.
Right.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Will the clerk please read the resolutions for consideration under the consent agenda minus the ones removed, please?
Correct. That would be resolutions R 2021 -263 through R 2021-290, with the exception of Resolution 273, Resolution 277, Resolution 286, and Resolution 287.
May I have a motion to adopt the consent agenda minus the so stated?
So move.
Thank you, Dr. Baskin. May I have a
Second.
second on that?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman DePiero. May
You're
we have a roll call?
Councilman Baskin,
Yes.
Councilman DePiero,
Yes.
Councilman Van Zura,
Yes,
Council Vice President Schneider,
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes, motion carries. Item 7, we will, resolutions removed from the consent agenda for consideration.
Those are resolutions R 273, R 277, R 286, and R 287.
May I have a motion?
so moved.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. May we have a roll call vote, please?
Councilman Baskin,
Yes.
Councilman DePiero,
Abstain.
Councilman Van Zura,
Yes,
Council Vice President Schneider,
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes. It is also passed. We will move now to engineers report. Mr. Razumowitz, good evening.
Good evening, Madam President. Tonight, the council awarded the special needs playground project over at the soccer complex, and we will be looking to get that started as weather permits going forward. With that, I would just wish everyone a happy holidays and a happy and healthy new year.
Thank you. Move to council reports. I will begin with our council vice president, Elizabeth Schneider, please.
At this time, I would just like to wish everybody a happy new year, stay safe. Looking forward to reorganization. And my house that flooded is coming along, so what could be more better, right?
What could be more better?
It's,
Thank you.
yeah, but just be safe, have a happy new year, use your judgment, and I'll see you all next year. Thank you.
Councilman Baskin.
Oh, thank you, Council President. Well, my only remarks are, in addition to what I said prior to this, is that I appreciate all of the people in the administration and in the township that I've interacted with. And I can mention specific names, and I don't want to offend anyone. I can mention our clerk, Patty, and every time I've contacted your office, you've always been very helpful. And of course, Mark Razumowitz and Joe and Wayne Horvath. Wayne's been very helpful to the garden in particular. And I've interacted with the construction department, George, and I think that the town is in good hands. I'm looking forward to seeing the outcome of the master plan.
Thank you very much, Councilman. Mr. Van Zura, please.
You do hesitate.
Hesitate too much, I would lose. I don't like to do that.
Very briefly, it's only been 3 weeks since our last meeting. Just want to reiterate my thoughts for Mr. Baskin, who I found to be a true gentleman and a wonderful councilman. Even though I know you will not be on the council, I certainly expect and I look forward to your future contributions and comments at future meetings. I wish everyone else a safe, healthy, happy new year. Be very careful with the COVID out there. Every time I turn around, I hear of another person and their family that's been getting it. I don't ever remember it like this during the time that it began. So I just wanted to say that. Also looking forward to next year. We got the master plan and a lot of things that we'll be dealing with, but thank you, everyone, and nothing but the best for the best new year. Thank you.
Councilman DePiero, please.
Thank you. First, I wanted to start out with the 2020 road decrease program. I know that Mark and Center State worked hard on following that program, and it was a decrease. No one mentioned it. I think it's something that should be mentioned to our residents and for the record, and hopefully we can use those funds moving forward in 2022. I did send an email to Alan, to Mark, requesting a few streets to look at in the 2022 program. I also want to say thank you for the support on the special need park on Prospect Plains. I'm on the committee for the county and also the township for the ADA, and we did get a grant of about $184,000 to put towards the purchase of this and the construction of the equipment. It's something that's really close to my heart to have this for our community, for all our residents in need for special needs. They don't have to go to other towns, and I'm glad to see that it's moving forward. Thank you, Mark, and your staff, and also Alan for helping us out with this. I have a big concern with snowfall, as Councilman Van Doren just said. Snowfall, we got to keep an eye on our MTUD guys. We got to keep an eye on our DPW guys and the staff that, with the COVID spreading rapidly through our community and through our state, along with through our country as well. But I think it's something that, because it's limited to a 12-hour shift, we have to be very, very careful. And our residents, I can only ask you, please be patient because the main arteries get opened up first. The secondary roads, we make a pass through so you can get emergency vehicles through these secondary roads. But please be patient, because we are running, I don't like to use the word skeleton crew, but we are running with a staff that is very limited, and just be patient. I had a question for our attorney. When we get a letter in our packet that's from a resident, shouldn't that be read as a correspondence? It's addressed to the mayor, addressed to the council, and should it also be a part of our minutes?
The answer is it can be part of your minutes. I'm not familiar with any governing body that reads all correspondence they get into the record. It's not unusual for somebody to just note for the record that we got it and it becomes part of the record, but they never get read.
All right, could we make it part of our minutes, please? Because some of us did receive a letter from a resident from Clearbrook in the last packet. I'd like to see that part of the minutes. Also, Mark, in reference to Old Bridge, Englishtown, Mounts Mill, you didn't give us an update on the upcoming traffic light. Can we get an update on that?
Mr. Rasimowitz, please.
Sure, Council President. I believe at the last meeting, it was authorized that the funds were authorized to purchase the land acquisitions. There's 13 parcels involved. I don't have a status as to where it's at with the negotiations and the proposals for that. But it was just authorized 3 weeks ago.
Alan, do you have a
Yeah.
comment? I'm
If
sorry.
I could just add, Council President,
Please
letters
do.
did go out to those residents, I believe, this month, and then we'll move forward on acquiring those properties.
Do you think it will be a project that will be done in 2022?
Well, the county is driving the
Right.
councilman, the county will be driving the construction portion of this. Our
Right.
job is to, at this point, get the land, which will move as expeditiously as possible. And then they're ready to go out to bid once we have the land.
Okay, because there's a small court there called Sarah Lane, and I did bring it to Mark's attention. Residents have been calling me that they can't get out of their street when the rush hours are. So we should try to put some kind of hash striping there, so no one blocks the roadway when the light is red, or or when they're in line waiting for the light to turn green. So that's something I just wanted to point out. Hopefully we can get that in the design and help the residents there, because they've been asking. And I want to thank all our employees from all employees from our mayor all the way down to our crossing guards, our first responders, our teachers, and everyone that really made 2021 possible for all of us to govern, because without them, we can't govern. The staff that we have is second to none. Everyone does a great job. Our directors, Joe's got the MTUD running like a clock over there, and Wayne with DPW. Everybody's doing their job. Lou with our construction. I just want to thank all of our residents, our directors, and also my fellow council and mayor for their dedication and their loyalty, along with our teachers and our first responders. And Happy New Year to all. And as Betty said, we'll see you next year.
Thank you, Councilman DePiero. I'll take a very brief moment to just say that I am, as all of us are, concerned about the increase in COVID. We will continue as a township to monitor it closely, because that's what we do. And we continue to encourage those who haven't been vaccinated to get vaccinated. And we have a high vaccination rate here. Let's keep that going. And if you haven't had a booster and you're okay with time has come for you to get it, please do so. I regularly am proud of the people who work for us and with us. They always speak well for us. And it is a pride in me to be able to say that I come from Monroe Township, which is run by caring people and served well by its staff and served well by its administration and its council as well. I'm going.
Council President? Oh,
Yes,
could I-
Mr.
Could I
Weinberg,
jump in? I think
sure.
I was
Sure.
supposed to be on the agenda and now.
I was
now I'm
just
not.
gonna-
Well, we
That's-
just took you off. Ellen.
Council President, I was
Okay.
just going to mention that I must have missed.
You must have. I am sorry.
I'll-
You're always first. and I
Apologize,
just write
Alan.
On my agenda.
I'll be really brief. I'll be really
Good.
brief. I just want to echo some of the things that some of the different council members made that I was going to say in my report. As many of us know, this year and a good portion of 2020 has been an extraordinary experience. Building a little bit on what Councilman DePiero said, this has been a journey for our employees and a journey for our residents.
Sure is.
And I think, as we all know from reading the newspapers, we're facing and dealing with our friends. We're facing a new challenge that has a little bit of unknown to it as well. Just as we come out of the holidays and get into a new year, and just as we've sort of overcome it over the past year and 9 or 10 months, we too shall succeed over the
Yes, we
coming
will.
months with this one as well. And I do want to give a special thanks to our employees, to our residents who have been great, to the mayor and council who got us to this point. And on behalf of the mayor, just wish everyone a happy and healthy new year. And certainly lots of updates will come as well at our January 5th
yes.
meeting. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Weinberg, and I'm sorry, and I clearly just didn't see your report listed and moved right along. Remember, folks, we do have a meeting January 5th, correct? Yes, we do. And no further comments heard from the council at this point. We will open for public comments. Reminder, 5 minutes per speaker. May I have a motion to open the public comment section?
So moved.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good. No one is. May we have the folks who wish to comment now, please?
Council President, let me just let the record show that the mayor's absent this evening. That's why there's no
Yes.
mayor's report. And let me see. I believe the first hand up is Lucille Panos, right?
Yes,
First hand up is Lucille Panos.
Lucille, please.
Good evening again.
Again,
I just want to say, Councilman Baskin, thank you very much for your service to this town. I didn't get to know you that well, but from what I see is you have varied interest and go for it. There is life after politics, but don't leave, because I'm sure everybody could still use your knowledge. Which we're going. And having said that, is there a place online where residents could see what openings are on various boards and when they're expire? And like, is there a place online that I could go see and say, okay, there's a position in the Environmental Commission? How does one apply for that? The third question is, I didn't get to, as I said, I cut and paste. The snow removal, is that done hourly or by mileage? Are these contractors paid? And if it's hourly, do they have a tracking device on them? And fourth, there was a motion at the beginning of payment of claims, but there was no opportunity for the public to speak on that. What was that about, the motion to approve the payment of claims per run date December 21st?
Well, the comment on that was in the first part of the meeting, where there was a comment on any item on the agenda. So there was a comment period before that was adopted.
And then I apologize for missing it. Could someone explain it to me now?
It's the payment of the township's bills.
Bills.
Oh, okay. It doesn't say bills, it says claims. And I thought it was possibility of settling a claim.
No,
Nope.
Thank you for the clarification.
you're welcome. Mr.
So
Weinberg,
it's the snowboard removal, the snow removal and the board. Where do I find that?
Mr. Weinberg, you're muted,
Would you like me to answer, Council President?
If you
Sure.
can, please.
So on the
You may
snow
not have-
removal, it is hourly. It did go out to bid, and we do put a tracker in their truck that allows everybody at DPW to see where they're going, so that we can see where everybody is going and what areas that they're covering. Regarding forms, I can say that Councilman, sorry, I apologize, Mayor Delina, when he first came into office, sort of took the initiative to encourage people to apply for boards and
Right.
commissions. There's a location on our website where you can do that, and it lists the boards and commissions. And I have to say that the clerk's been getting a fair number of these, and I know it's been used by the mayor as he makes selections, and possibly the council president as well. So we should continue to do that. The other, what was the other question, Council President, or I apologize?
He answered it.
Okay.
The attorney answered.
Okay.
Okay, so is there, I must be computer illiterate here. I can't seem to find a link to apply for these boards and commissions. Is there one?
Patty, can you give Ms. Panos more information about that, other than to perhaps give you a call?
Sure. I mean, it is on the website. If you scroll across the top where it says boards and
Right.
commissions, and then there's a volunteer application that you would download, fill out and submit. But if you'd like, I can, if you
I
email
got
me.
it. I'll look. Thank you. Listen,
Most
Happy New
welcome.
Year, everybody.
Happy New
You too
Year.
as well.
Best wishes.
You too.
You
as
too.
well. Anyone else waiting to speak with us?
Yes, Council President. That would be Tim Esso.
Yes, Mr. Esso.
Tim
Set it-
Esso, 2 Allison Court. Council President, just want to know, we have a newspaper, the Monroe News. Just want to know what that paper costs the taxpayers every year from Jaffe Printing. And can you stop my time?
We don't stop time. It is a running clock.
Okay, then let me
Uh,
finish all my questions first. and you
Sure,
can answer
please
them.
do.
Okay, last month, I had asked about having zoning and planning board meetings on live, Zoomed or live streamed.
Mhm.
I received an answer back from Mr. Weinberg that's pretty unsatisfactory. In fact, and I hate to use a term, but to me, it is lip service. This is a simple, yes or no answer. Are we going to live stream these meetings? Now, we just had these parcels of land that no one knew were being purchased by the town, except obviously Ms. Arminio and myself, because we read the agenda. I believe if we have these meetings live streamed, you would probably get a lot more participation from concerned residents who care about open space. So with that said, are we going to be live streaming, okay, in the sake of transparency, okay, for our residents, planning board and zoning board meetings?
So first, I don't know, Council President, if you want me to answer it.
Oh, I'm always
Those two
happy.
ordinances had nothing to do with the planning or zoning
No.
board.
Okay.
That wouldn't change it. And
I
this
stand
meeting is
corrected.
actually being streamed right now. You're listening to it in real time.
No,
So,
planning and
so the
zoning
answer-
board, Mr. Reno.
right. But what I said was that those meetings, having been live streamed or not, had nothing to do with the two parcels that we purchased. So
Okay, I
that,
stand corrected.
so that's all I was saying, that they have nothing to do with it. So, and Mr. Weinberg, I think, didn't just give you lip service. He told you that about the practical difficulties with those meetings in terms of, I think that your question the last time was two-part. One was whether or not they could be done on Zoom, and the other was live streaming. And I think that was, at least the Zoom part, was part of his answer. But I don't want to speak for Mr. Weinberg.
Mr.
Well, I
Weinberg,
do
you
have his
wanna add
answer.
to it?
I do have his answer here, and to me, as a taxpayer, it is less than satisfactory. I was hoping for more of a definitive answer on whether or not the public was going to be able to see these meetings up in person, live on Zoom, or live streamed.
Mr.
I'm happy to
Weinberg, do you
answer
wish
the-
to comment, please?
I'm happy to answer the question,
Sure.
Council President. So
Thank
as
you.
you know, this meeting was switched from being live streamed to Zoom as a result of the current situations. And I did put that in the email that the pandemic certainly has impacts on things. So it is yet to be determined, and there'll be discussions that happen over the coming week, whether the planning board will be Zoom or whether we will be able to live stream it, which is something we are working on. I'll defer to the township attorney because a planning board meeting can't just be live streamed because of the participation rules, which he can explain in greater detail than I. But at this point, it'll depend whether we're in Zoom, which would mean we would not be live streaming. If we're in person and we're ready, then as we have been planning, and as I mentioned to you, we could live stream, but then at that point, you wouldn't be able to take questions from the audience based on the existing laws that exist. So it really is going to depend whether we go to Zoom, which we'll discuss over the next week, or whether or not we are ready to do live streaming with in person.
Yeah, just
All
please
of
keep me
this is
informed on
somewhat
that.
So the pandemic, I'm sorry, Council
I'm
President, that's
sorry.
my answer.
That is his answer.
Okay, please keep me informed on that, Mr. Weinberg. I would appreciate it.
Sure.
Sure. Any other residents? Thank you. Any of your comments, sir? Anyone else wishing to speak with us now?
Yes, I have a hands up from Michelle Arminio.
Yes, Michelle, please just unmute.
Shell Arminio, 9 Nathaniel Street, regarding resolution R12 2021-280. Resolution authorizing the execution of professional services contract. That is $105,000 to Center State Engineering. Though it says Fitzgerald Avenue roadway and concrete, but this is not the actual, or my question is this soft cost and just design cost? It has nothing to do with actual blacktop or concrete laying, is that it? Could someone explain that?
Correct. It's professional services. It's not
Professional
construction.
services.
Correct.
Okay, so going back to live stream versus remote, and are we back to the emergency regulations as the local finance notice of 2020-21?
Well,
Following,
the answer is in conversations that I've had with the governor's office and in researching the law, the Open Public Meetings Act allows us to be virtual during times of state of emergency.
right.
The legislature has terminated the public health emergency, but the state of emergency is still in
Still in
existence.
existence.
So regardless of what those rules say, the Open Public Meetings Act permits council in time, and by the way, in the school board too, in times of
Right,
a state emergency where they don't believe that it is reasonably safe to conduct meetings at a physical location, that they can have them virtual.
right. So but is the language in that LFN 2020-21 anything that we are using, or just, and the reason for my question is on page 2 of that declaration, I suppose.
Mhm.
It says, please note that if the local public body meets in person for a meeting, the regulations require members of the public to be able to attend the meeting in person.
Correct. And
Okay.
those are the, early on in the pandemic, people were having hybrid meetings where governing bodies were meeting together, and then they were, and then they weren't allowing the public in. But the answer to that question is yes, you don't hold a meeting in public and then you'd have to let the public in. So that's
Okay, but it looks from my perspective here that there are members of the council in the municipal building.
There is, except there's not a majority of them. So there's not a council meeting taking place in the municipal building. It's just
Okay,
for technological reasons, in order to make these meetings flow better. It's, the clerk and the council president are in the same place. But the answer is we couldn't have a majority of the governing body in a place, because that would effectively be, as you know, that would effectively be a meeting.
okay. I would just, I understand the distinction between the Zoom meeting and the live stream, and I understand that especially, well, both the zoning board and planning board, which requires applicants to give testimony essentially. I do understand why a Zoom meeting, if that was being held in a public forum, why a Zoom meeting would be inappropriate. And I also agree that, the public shouldn't be able to ask questions if there was a live meeting in the municipal building. However, I don't see why it wouldn't be able to be live streamed at that time, live streamed without public participation. I think it would be a good thing that people would be able to see it. So I would hope that the council going forward will consider that. An informed public is the best way to have a good democracy. So that would be my request moving forward. And, clearly what the distinction between the two types of technological streaming. So thank you. I do wish everybody a happy and healthy new
You
year.
as well.
And
Happy New Year.
I'd like to see, when we talk about the master plan, I'd like to see, we did not have an affordable housing meeting that was relevant to the master plan. I hope that gets put back on schedule. It was canceled, that meeting. I hope it gets put back on schedule before we move forward with any other master plan discussions. Thank you. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year, everyone. Do we have anyone else waiting to speak with us?
Council President, we have a few hands up, but I just want to say that Tim Esso's hand is up again, but he was already
He's
spoke at this
correct.
part of the meeting. And we also have Prakash Parab.
Dr. Parab, please unmute yourself.
Thank you, President Cohen. Can you hear me?
Yes, of course.
Thank you, Mayor Constant and all the friends. I joined just now. My request is The COVID is surging, so grocery stores and all crowded places, we have to wear a mask, whether they like. This is not a politics. It's a virus. It doesn't care. Virus doesn't care. It is a Republican, Independent, or Democrat. We have to take care of our community, Monroe, New Jersey, United States at large. So I request that, Mayor, you have a power. And I know everyone has counsel, everyone has a good heart, that grocery stores and crowded places in our township should be, people have to wear a mask. So please pass that resolution for shopping. When the numbers come down, we can remove that restriction, but we have to stop this virus, which is, going and, doing all bad things. Thank you very much. And I wish everyone Happy New Year. Thank you very much.
To you as well. Thank you, Dr. Parag. Anything else? Anyone else waiting for us?
The only hand up, like I said previously, Council President, is Mr. Iso, who has already spoken.
Mr. Riso has already spoken.
Oh,
once, and we-
Well, I had it, just had a flicker, but it went away. That's all. No other hands up at this time, Council
Then may
President.
I have a motion to close the public comment section?
Make a
please?
motion.
Thank you. May I have a second on that motion?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Public portion is closed. May I have a motion to adjourn the agenda meeting? A motion, please.
Make a motion.
May I have a second on that?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
It's an all in favor, but I will do a roll call if you'd
Oh,
like.
Mine, it says roll call on adjournment.
Okay, I'll do roll call. Councilman Baskin,
Yes.
Councilman DePiero,
Yes.
Councilman Van Zura.
I agree. And Madam President, can we just make sure everyone understands that the reorganization meeting will not be at the senior center?
Correct. I will say.
I know
yes.
that was
Thank you.
posted on our,
Yes,
the
it
correction was posted,
And
but in
I'll
case
repeat
any
it.
of our residents didn't see it.
Before
But
I gavel, no, gavel us out. I will make that
I
comment.
never know when that gavel's coming, so I
You
gotta
never
give
know
my
when the
2
gavel's
cents in.
coming.
But I vote yes on that
Yes.
last.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Shy
Count-
tonight.
Council Vice President Schneider,
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes, with the proviso that you are all aware that January 5th, the council will reorganize. The meeting will be on Zoom. And the 6:30 is our time. So was that?
And the swearing in will not happen
And the
at the
swearing
senior
in will
center.
not take place at the senior center.
It'll be,
It has been canceled. And there will be a swearing in just by the township clerk of the council people that are to be sworn in and the mayor. Anything else that I need to say before we do this? Mr. Weinberg? I'm good?
You're good.
Okay, I'm good. To all, a happy new year and a healthy one. This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.